day, everyone. Welcome to today's mathematics lesson. All this while, we are looking at variation. In our previous lesson, we looked at the direct variation, inverse variation, and today we shall be looking at the joint variation. Now, this joint variation involves at least 3 variables. It can be combination of direct and inverse variation, or it can be the product of the 2 other quantities, or it can be the quotient of the product of the other 2 quantities or variables. Let's take an instance using these 3 variables, x, y, and z. What I have on the board here is x varies directly as y and z. You can see it's the product of the other 2 quantities. The second one, x varies directly as z and inversely as y, which is the combination of direct and inverse variation. The third one here is x varies inversely as the product of z and y. That is the quotient of the product of these other 2 variables. Let's take examples. The first one, if y varies directly as a and b squared, and y is equals to 15, when a is equals to 2, b is equals to 3, we have to find a, the constant of proportionality. B, we have to find the equation connecting the variables, that is y, a and v. C, we have to find y when a is 5 and v is 6. D, we have to find v when y is 120 and a is 9. Solution. Remember, it's joint variation. So we have 3 quantities. Y varies directly as ab squared. Let's introduce our constant. So this implies y is equals to k ab squared, where k is the constant. Already the value of y, a, and v squared is given to us. So let's substitute it. That is y is equals to KAV squared is the same thing as y is 15. 15 is equals to, then a is 2 and v is 3 squared. Then our k, which is unknown. So let's solve it. We have 15 equals to 2. 3 square means 3 times 3, which is 9. So here we have times 9k. 15 is equals to 2 times 9 is 18k. We are looking for k. We divide through by 18. So our k here is equals to, we need to reduce this to the lowest term. The common factor here will be 3. 3 can go into 15, 5. 3 can go into 18, 6. So our answer is what? 5 over 6. So the value of k is 5 over 6. So you can see here, I did not change it to mixed fraction because it's already a proper fraction. The equation connecting the variables. So the equation connecting y, a, and v is, so we write this equation, we only put the value of the constant. Y will be equals to 5 over 6 av squared. Or we can write it as y is equals to 5ab squared over 6. Still the same thing. So that is it. Let's move to C. We have to find the value of y when a is equals to 5. So we want to find y when a is 5 and b is 6. So we substitute it here. Find y when a is equals to 5 and b is equals to 6. So from the equation connecting them, y is equals to 5. Our a is given to us as 5, 2. Then times our b is given to us as 6 squared, all over 6. We can now simplify it. Why will it? 5 times 5 here is 25. This one, can I write it as times 6 times 6? Yes. 6 squared means 6 times 6, all over 6. I have a reason of doing that so that we can easily cancel the 6 and move ahead. So this 6 can cancel. Now we are just left with 25 times 6. So y is equals to 25 times 6. So let's multiply it together. 6 times 5 is 30. So we write 0, carry 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 3 is what? Of course, is what? 15. So our y is equals to 150. The last part of it is d. And we have to find the value of v when y is 120 and a is 9. Find v when y is 120 and a is 9. So we substitute in the formula connecting them, or the relationship connecting these variables. We say the relationship is y is equals to 5ab squared all over 6. So we are going to substitute it here. So our y is 120. We have 120 equals to 5. And a is what? 9. We have b squared all over 6. Here we can, okay, let's further simplify. 120 equals to 5 times 9 is 45b squared all over 6. So here we can cross multiply. Make it over 1. So we have 45v squared is equals to 120 times 6. So let's multiply 120 times 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12, carry 1. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Then here we have 45v squared. We are looking for v here. We divide both sides by 45. So we have our v squared is equals to, we'll reduce this one together. We look for the common factor. So I think the common factor that I'm going to 720 and 45 here is, let's start with 3. 3 can go into 7, 2, remainder 1. 3 can go into 12, 4, and we have this 0. 3 into 4, 1, remainder 1. 3 into 15 is 5. So here we have 240 over 15. 3 again can go. So let's reduce it. 3 into 24 is 8. We have this 0. 3 into 15 is 5. So we are left with 80 over 5, which we can still divide. So 5 can go into 80 and 5 can go into itself. So 5 into itself is 1. 5 can go into 8 is 1 remainder 3. 5 into 30 is 6. So our answer here now is what? 16. So v square is equals to 16. But remember, we are not looking for v square. We have to find the value of v. So what are we going to do? Of course, we take the square root of both sides. Take the square root of v square, take the square root of 16. So this square will cancel the square root. V will be equals to, of course, we know the square root of 16. What is the square root of 16? It should be what? 4. So our v is equals to 4. Alright, let's look at the second example. Example 2. W varies directly as the square of v and varies inversely as L. A. Express W in terms of v and L. B. Calculate the value of the constant when W is equals to 600, V is equals to 150, and L is equals to 30. C. Calculate V when W is 800 and L is 40. D. Calculate L when W is 1600 and V is 250. A. We are just express W in terms of V and L. That is, just write this information in a mathematical way. So here we see W varies directly as the square of V. Directly as the square of V, and varies inversely as L. When we talk about inverse, you have it like this as L. So that is what they ask us to find. But then we have to take away the sign, this sign of variation. So here now we have W will be equals to KV squared all over L. That is all for the first one. We are expressing W in terms of V and L. Let's look at B. In B, we have to calculate the value of the constant. So you can see we have constant already here. So we want to find the value of the constant. From the expression, W is given to us as 600, V is given to us as 150, and L is given as 30. So we substitute it here. Now we have 600 is equals to K, which we don't know, and V is 150 squared, then times L, which is, times K, all over L, which is 30. So this is what we have. Let's simplify it further. Alright, let's proceed. We have 600 is equals to 150 times 150 will give us 22,500. And remember, we have our K all over the L, which is 30. So from here, we can cross multiply, or you can still reduce it. But then let's cross multiply. So we have 22,500K is equals to 600 times 30 will give us 18,000. So we are looking for the value of K. We divide through by 22,500. 22,500. So 22,500 will go. We're left with this K. Now let's reduce this one. These two zeros can cancel here. So now we are left with 180 and 225. So we can further reduce it using their common factor. So I think the common factor here will 3 can go. Yes. So 3 into 18 is 6. We have this 0 here. 3 into 22 is 7. Remainder 1 into 15 is 5. So we have 60 over 75. 3 can still go into the 2 numbers. So let's divide it again. 3 into 60 is 20. 3 into 7 here is 2, remainder 1. Into 15 is 5. So we have 20 over 25. What number do you think will go into 20 and 25 again without a remainder? Of course, the number should be 5. So let's divide through by 5. 5 can go into 24, and 5 into 25 is 5. So we have our answer to be what? 4 over 5. So the value of our constant is what? 4 over 5, which is a proper fraction. Alright, let's look at the third solution, that is C. We are to find the value of V when W is 800 and L is 40. So from the equation connecting the 3 variables, which is W equals to 4, W is equals to 4V squared all over 5L. So this is the equation connecting them. So we now substitute in the values of V and L. Okay. W is 800 is equals to 4. V, we don't know, that is what we are to look for, all over 5 times L is 40. We can cross multiply. So we have 4V squared is equals to 800 times, if you multiply 5 times 40, you get 200. So let's divide through by 4. V squared is equals to, we can just cancel, 4 can go into itself 1, 4 can go into this 800, 200. So now we have 200 times 200. Permit me to leave it like this. We are looking for V squared. So we take the square root of both sides. Take the square root of V squared, and take the square root of 200 times 200. So V, this square root, the square root will cancel the square, and our V is equals to, allow me to write it like this, 200 squared. Just like x times x is the same thing as x squared. So that is what we have here. So from here you discover that these two will cancel the square root. So our V is equals to 200. So that is the value of our V. Let's look at D. We have to find the value of L. Find the value of L when W is given to us as 1,600 and V is given to us as 250. So substituting in that equation again, we have W is equals to 4V squared all over 5L. So already our W is 1,600 is equals to 4 times V is 250 squared all over 5L. So remember, we are looking for L. So we can cross multiply and make L the subject of the formula. Okay, so we have 5L times 1,600 is equals to 4 times 250. 250 squared. So if you multiply this one, let's multiply it together. 5 times 0 here will give us 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. We write 0, carry 3. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. So we have 8,000 L equals to 250 squared. You can also multiply it. Let's do it together. 250 times 250. I know most of you must have forgotten how to do this long multiplication. We normally call it long multiplication. So let's do it together. 0 times everything here will give us 0. 5 times 0 here is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. So we write 5 carry 2. 5 times 2 here is 10 plus 2, 12. Let's come to this one. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So we add. 0 plus nothing here is 0. This one is 0. 0 plus 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 5 is 6. Alright, let's proceed. We have 8,000 L is equals to, we need to multiply this 62,500, multiply it by 4. So we have 4 times 62,500. So we have 8,000 L is equals to, when you multiply this one, let's multiply 4 times 0 is 0. 4 this one times 0 is 0. 4 times 5 is 20. Write 0, carry 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10, so we have 0, carry 1. 4 times 6 is 24 plus 1, 25. So here we have 250,000. Divide 2 by 8,000. So 8,000 will go. Our L is equals to, these 3 zeros will cancel this. So we are left with 250 divided by 8. So let's reduce it. 2 can go. 2 into 8 is 4. 2 into itself here is 1. 2 here is 2. Remember, 1 here is 5. So we have 125 divided by 4. So already it's an improper fraction. So we change it to mixed fraction. So 4 can go into 12. 3 times. 4 can go into 5, 1. Remainder 1. So we have 31 whole number 1 over 4. So that is the value of our L. I have assignment on the board. Solve this assignment following the examples which we have treated and submit it through this phone number. Thank you.